This is one of those questions where it's extremely important to understand what is being asked, otherwise you're very likely to get this wrong. So there are two clues that can help us out to know that this is a punctuation question. First and foremost, we do see there's a little bit of a change in punctuation between choices B and C. It's only one place where that happens, but it's an important place and it helps us get on the right track. Plus, even though it's not underlined, there is a comma right before the underline, and that might affect how things are going. So let's just look at choice A for a second, and that'll make it clear why we need to think about punctuation. If we read it, we have a run-on sentence. Okay, it's two complete sentences that are joined with only a comma. Kahlo's injury and personal struggles took a significant emotional toll. That's a sentence. They also inspired much of the art that made her known the world over. That's a sentence too. Both of those things could have a capital letter and a period. We are not allowed to join them with just a comma. So we need some sort of connector word. Now, however, is a very tempting connector word because it sounds very, official and academic. And so people want to put it. But it's not going to work here because the punctuation that we use along with the however is insufficient to make it a good connection. So the run-on still applies to choices B and C. We need a word like but, which is a simpler word because it is a conjunction and it allows us to join two sentences with just a comma, right? The comma plus the conjunction is enough to make these two complete sentences together as one sentence without it being a run-on. But B and C do not. However needs something more. Basically, if you wanted to use however, you would need to put a semicolon right here. A semicolon can be used to join two complete sentences, and in this case we would want to put it there. Then we can do the word however, then a comma, then the second sentence. So however needs a little bit more, and that's why most of the time that we see it on the SAT, it's actually the start of a sentence. Usually it's for those transition questions where we don't need to think about punctuation at all, but occasionally it creeps into these kinds of questions where we do need to understand it's not a synonym for but. It's a synonym in sense of definition, but it is not necessarily replaceable with the word but or interchangeable with the word but. It has different punctuation rules and they're usually more strict. So but is usually going to be the better way to go because it is simpler, but it depends on the question. These kinds of questions about fragments and run-ons, they tend to be some of the hardest punctuation questions on the test, but the first step is knowing what you're dealing with so you can apply the rules correctly.